Hey you guys, welcome back to my channel. I'm really excited for today's video because I'm going to be doing a tag video, and it's been a super long time since I've done a tag video here on my channel. So today I'm going to be doing the makeup addiction tag. I'm not 100% certain who is the original creator of this. I think it may have been originally an Instagram tag. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I saw Karen Harris do this, so I'll have her channel linked below, and if she has any information on like the original creator in her description box, I'll also link that in my description box. Also, I'm sure you can just search the makeup addiction tag on YouTube or Instagram if you're interested in seeing more content about this tag in particular. I do want to say really quick, a couple of things really quick. Sorry, my background has forever been changing the last couple of weeks. I was telling you guys, like, we were completely redoing my house, my beauty space has changed, and now my office is done. So I'm like in this huge room where I'm looking at where I get ready, and then I have like my desk, and then I think that this is going to be my permanent filming space. I had been filming in my bedroom with windows in the background, which I did like, and I was getting a ton of positive feedback. But if I always film here, I can just keep like, well, I'm gonna try and fix the little like crinkles in the backdrop, but I can just keep stuff like permanently set up here. I can easily do like my thumbnail pictures, whereas when I was doing it in my bedroom, like the window was a little bit distracting for thumbnail pictures, and then like my autofocus was like, I don't know, it was a lot. I really did like the windows in the background, and I still may film there from time to time, but I think this is just gonna be my permanent backdrop, just like a solid whatever. I'm sorry if that is boring, but I hope that that will be okay with you guys. I'm still trying to figure out my lighting. I'm so pale right now, you guys, like so fair. I'm currently testing out a foundation that I had purchased in like a coming out of summer phase, so like a little bit darker than my normal shade, but like lighter than like my summer tan shade. And I feel like I just went from like summer tan to like literally like transparent see-through, and so this shade is already a little bit dark, and then I also feel like it's oxidizing, like so as I was trying to say, I'm trying to figure out my lighting. Like, I couldn't decide if my lighting was washing me out or if I was literally just like a see-through ghost in some of my last videos. So also bear with me while I sort of figure out my lighting in this new setup. Today is Sunday the 15th. The Vikings play the Packers today. I am super excited about it. Skol Vikings. It's gonna be a good game. My daughter's fourth birthday party, we're literally throwing a month and a half late because I am so disorganized, but our party is like right after the Vikings game, so I'm a little bit like stressed. I might have to have a hard cider while I watch the game just to like calm me down a little bit, but none of this matters. None of this has any relevance to the video. If you guys are interested in seeing my answers to the makeup addiction tag questions, then stay tuned. First, if you haven't already subscribed to my channel, I am really committing to trying to get back to my normal filming upload schedule, which is every single Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, and Friday. I try and upload at 5 p.m. I've been horrible at my upload schedule, you guys. I kind of want to do just like a get ready with me, a chit chat type of thing, talking to you guys about like why I feel like I have been a little bit inconsistent, and it's like nothing really in particular, just that I feel like overwhelmed by life a little bit. So keep an eye out for that video. I haven't filmed it yet, and I always say I'm going to film these videos, and then like 8 months go by and I'm like, oh yeah, I said I was going to film that. Anyway, if you guys are interested in the makeup addiction tag, let's get started. Okay, first I'm gonna have a sip of my coffee, and then I'm sure I'll get like some wear away on my lipstick, so I'll look really like discombobulated. Also, my hair is like drying right now. It's been a morning, you guys. It's already been a morning. Okay, so starting with, sorry, I want to make sure you can like at least read Minnesota on my shirt because the Vikings are gonna win today. Okay, so starting with question number 1 is, how long have you been addicted to makeup? And this question, when I heard Karen do hers, and she was like talking about like, well, like I've always kind of been, you know, addicted to makeup, but like it really started about 2 years ago. And I feel like for me too, it's definitely been like a journey. So in high school, like I can't even remember, like I remember in high school I would always wear black eyeliner, and I think it was Maybelline that I bought. It was in like a bright green tube with a black cap, and I would wear black eyeliner and mascara every single day, and I wasn't like emo or anything, it was just like my thing. And then when I was a junior, someone at the MAC counter told me like, hey, have you ever considered doing like a brown eyeliner? It's not as stark as the black, yada yada. And like instantly I became obsessed with MAC and the MAC counter, and I started wearing like bronzer, I believe, at that time too, which probably didn't match me at all, but I would wear bronzer, mascara, and my brown eyeliner. Was not into like foundation or anything like that at the time. And then moving into college, again, I was still like really into MAC. Sorry if you guys can hear mowing outside. I was very into MAC, and this was like, MAC may have been a big thing at the time on YouTube, but like I did not watch YouTube at this time. So super into MAC, bought a ton of MAC single shadows, and like then my go-to look transitioned to MAC satin taupe all over my lid, and my brown eyeliner, my mascara. Still wasn't wearing foundation. Occasionally I would do bronzer, and like that was my look. And then I ended up purchasing the Naked 2 palette at some point in college, maybe like my junior year in college, and then I would play around a little bit more with like different eyeshadows, but I still didn't wear foundation or anything like that. I think I purchased my first foundation, you guys, at age 24, when I really got into makeup. And I think 24 is where I can like nail down where my makeup addiction truly started. Like for a while I would buy MAC and MAC products all the time, lipsticks, eyeshadows, everything like that. But I remember when I was actually on maternity leave, which would have been 2015, when I was 24, I have always had like a super entrepreneurial spirit. And when I was on maternity leave, I was just like kind of bored, if you will, sitting at home. I know that sounds like awful, especially if you don't have kids and you don't understand that like it truly can get a little bit boring with an infant. I mean, you're exhausted, but you're just like a little bit bored. So I was sitting there bored, like trying to just think of like, you know, what I wanted to do with like that entrepreneurial spirit in me. And at the time I was considering becoming like a unique representative, like unique, the like direct sales, whatever. And so that's when I started watching YouTube videos. It was like the first time I really entered the YouTube realm. My sister had been watching YouTube videos for years, and I always thought she was kind of weird. I'm like, I don't understand these people who watch YouTube. And I found Nicole Guerrero was the first person that I found. I remember this specifically. And then I saw her and Jaclyn Hill did like a collab, and it was days, you guys, that I was just binge watching Jaclyn Hill and Nicole Guerrero videos. And all of a sudden I was like, okay, like I need to go purchase all these different items from the makeup store, from Ulta, from Sephora, etc. I need to order a ton of single shadows off of the Makeup Geek website. Like I can specifically remember when I was on maternity leave is when my makeup addiction like truly kicked off, and it's all thanks to Nicole Guerrero and Jaclyn Hill. That was a super long-winded answer. I'm sorry if you guys didn't come for story time. Also, if I sound like a little bit nasally, still battling a cold. Okay, number 2 is, what makeup item are you most addicted to buying, or like what makeup category? And this was tough because in the past, hands down, I would have said eyeshadow palettes. But this year I'm on a no buy, or not no buy. I keep saying no buy, and that's definitely not the case. I've been on a low buy, and I feel like in the past I would just buy like every single new eyeshadow palette that was released, but now I've really started to think about why I want an eyeshadow palette and not just buy things like left and right. Still, eyeshadow palettes might be that one category that like I enjoy buying the most, I get most excited about, I think, because you can be so creative within like a realm of an eyeshadow palette. So I think my answer would still be eyeshadow palettes, but I also love buying new foundations. I don't know what it is, I get so excited about buying new foundations, and also bronzers. Don't know what it is, I just get super excited about it. Number 3 is, how many of these do you have? So I'm gonna go with the eyeshadow palettes because I think truly like that is the one that I get most excited for, because like a new foundation I get excited for, and then I use it and decide whether or not I love it, and then it's like, okay, like it looks the same every day. But with an eyeshadow palette, I get excited for it because every day you open it, it could be a new look. So how many eyeshadow palettes do I have? I don't have the exact number. I can go into, actually, hold on. Let me go into my spreadsheet and I can look up the exact number of eyeshadow palettes. I just decluttered 10 eyeshadow palettes. I don't know if that will go up before or after I film or post this video, but I did just declutter 10 eyeshadow palettes. Okay, I currently have 72 eyeshadow palettes, which is so many, you guys, and I know, and that's even after, I think that's after decluttering. Yep, that's even after decluttering those 10. 72 eyeshadow palettes. I know people have more, but it's still like, it's a lot. But I just like looking at my eyeshadow palette collection, I'm like legitimately looking at where it's displayed. I don't know any more eyeshadow palettes within my collection that I would like feel okay with getting rid of. Sure, if someone missing, I probably wouldn't really notice. There's specific ones that I would and specific ones that I wouldn't, but I just love my eyeshadow palette collection. I truly do. It's like one of those areas of my collection that like I value the most. So I know 72 sounds like a lot. Maybe one day we'll whittle it down a little bit more. I'm currently doing a Pan Those Eyeshadows project. I'll leave my playlist linked down below for you guys. And I also have done a couple of months of a different eyeshadow palette a day for the entire month. I did it in February as well as May. I'll link those videos down below as well, and I plan to do that in October as well, just to like really make sure I'm cycling through my palettes and getting use out of them. But yeah, I have 72 eyeshadow palettes in my collection. Number 4 is, do you buy makeup just to buy? And absolutely, in the past, my answer to this would have been 100%. Like, I remember, I think last summer or 2 summers ago, I wanted to do a video just like testing out, and a lot of times I want to do these videos and then I buy stuff for them and then don't even do them. But I wanted to do a video testing out like the top 10 drugstore products on the Ulta website. So I just like, even if it was like a matte product that would not work for my skin, I just bought the top 10 products. And that's just not what I'm about anymore. I think my first 2 years on YouTube, one of the years I was super inconsistent. The second year I was like, and then last year is when I really started to get consistent with my channel. But when I was building up my collection, I would 100% say like I would buy stuff just to buy. Like, someone would recommend something on YouTube one time and I would instantly be like, yep, I need to go out and buy that. Now I'm on a low buy, and I've definitely learned a lot more about like just the thought process I go through when that mowing though. I've learned more about like my thought process when I am about to make a makeup purchase. And certainly there's times where like, yes, like I've had a bad day, I go into Ulta, I go into Sephora, and I'm just like, you know what, I'm gonna buy something today. I don't care what it is, but I'm gonna buy something. My low buy has helped with that, certainly. And now I really do try and think about like why I want to bring something into my collection. Is it going to work for my skin? Am I going to be able to wear it more than like 2 days out of the week? Is it like a super colorful palette that I'm never going to get use out of? I really do try and think more about my purchases now, and I would say this year specifically, I really haven't purchased anything just to buy. There's a couple items that I purchased this year that I don't necessarily regret, but I think I have a video about like my least favorite purchases, or like talking about like purchases that I regret from this year. And I still, for the most part, thought about those purchases and thought that they were going to be items that were going to work for me, and I had reasoning to bring them into my collection. They just didn't end up working out. So I definitely used to buy just to buy, but I feel like I've made significant improvements this year in that kind of category, if you will. Number 5, do you look at an item and have the need compulsion that you need just one more to complete your collection? So this question was a little bit confusing to me, but I thought of it more of like, are you a collection completionist? So what I will say about this is, in the past I definitely was, and I think I've kind of taken a turn this year specifically, but also last year when Anastasia released their Dream highlighter palette. I purchased that knowing that it was like more colorful, and I didn't get like the most use out of my Moonchild glow kit as well as my Aurora. Like there were certainly some shades in there that are wearable, specifically more in the Aurora than the Moonchild, but I still wanted to get the Dream palette to complete my collection. So I definitely had that compulsion, but when I got the Dream palette and saw how glittery it was, I was like, I am literally never going to wear this. I didn't even see myself being able to wear that as like an eyeshadow at the time, whereas the Moonchild I sometimes would use as like inner corner highlight, whereas an eyeshadow, etc. The Dream I didn't see myself getting any use out of, so I actually ended up, I sold that on my Poshmark. I didn't take it back, but I still got rid of the palette. And now I've seen Angelica just rave about this palette, and it made me like want to buy it again. I'm not gonna lie, but I haven't. I have seen that there are some like floating around at Marshall's. Still haven't found it at mine. If I found that at Marshall's, I would maybe buy that again. But that was my first like end, if you will, to like being a completionist. I also used to be the same way with Anastasia eyeshadow palettes, but then she released the Alyssa Edwards one. I want to say there was one other one before that, but I don't think that there is. There was one, the Alyssa Edwards one, I was a little bit let down by the Riviera palette, which was the palette that had released before the Alyssa Edwards one, and like realistically I could give or take the Riviera palette. So when the Alyssa one released, I just didn't see myself getting that much use out of it because it's such a colorful palette. So I ended up not buying that one, and it pained me a little bit because I've always told myself no matter what Anastasia releases, I'm going to buy, because I thought of myself as an Anastasia collection completionist. But yeah, I don't have the Dream kit and I don't have the Alyssa Edwards palette. Now I did purchase the Jackie Aina palette and I have been loving it so far. I also have yet to purchase the new Norvina 1 palette, the big one. I could see myself purchasing that. I've seen so many amazing looks with that palette. But I am going to hold off at least until the next Sephora VIB sale because it is so expensive. I'm so sorry about the mowing. My time is limited to film today though. So I don't feel like I am a completionist at all anymore. That was the only area within my makeup collection that I used to feel like I wanted like the complete collection, and I just don't feel that anymore, so that's a good thing. Okay, number 6 is, do you have more than 10 mascaras and how many are open within your collection? This one made me laugh because I have so many mascaras in my collection, but most of them I have gotten as like in BoxyCharms, or I've gotten them as like samples. Like a lot of them are like the deluxe size samples or deluxe size like trial size, which still last a very long time. How many do I have open? I currently have 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I currently have 6 open. 2 are full size and 4 are minis. One of them is my Milk waterproof one that has been open like all summer, and then one is the small like deluxe size tinted primer from Benefit, and then the like matching part to that, the it's not the roller lash, the like false whatever it is. So I do currently have 6 open. 4 of them are deluxe size travel size mascaras and 2 are full size. Now I am a type of person who I layer my mascaras, so I'm at least going in with 2 mascaras a day, if not 3. But I still think I have like 25 mascaras in my collection unopened. I don't know. I have gone through a ton of mascara though this year, because when mine hits the 4-month mark, I just like call it good, call it done, because I don't want to mess around with an eye infection or anything like that. So I do go through quite a few, and again I use a lot of deluxe size samples. I think I've purchased maybe 2 or 3 mascaras within the last like year. Like literally, like I've only purchased, I can think of 2 that I've purchased within the last year. So a lot of them do come from BoxyCharm. Number 7 is, do you ever throw makeup away? And the only time I throw makeup away is, one, if it's expired, if there's like something like disgusting about it. I've had like lipsticks or liquid lipsticks that are like clearly have gone bad that I'll throw away. Or if my daughter completely ruins something, which has happened. Don't get me started. I'm gonna be super sassy about that. But other than that, I don't throw makeup away. I will either give it to my daughter to play with. If I want to declutter it, I will offer it to like my sister, my friends. If it's something that I feel like I can sell on Poshmark, I'll sell it on Poshmark, but I don't throw makeup in the trash. Number 8 is, what's the oldest makeup product in your collection? And it is a MAC product. I have gotten rid of most really old products in my collection. Sorry, I'm like trying to look, making sure I get it right. There might be some lipsticks. There might be some MAC lipsticks that are older than the product I'm going to mention, but I think the oldest makeup product in my collection is my MAC Soft and Gentle Highlight. I currently have that going in my Graveyard Project pan as one of my collecting cobwebs as one of my collecting cobwebs products. That's been in my collection. Gosh, when would I have purchased that? The earliest that I would have purchased that is like my sophomore year. The closest to this date that I would have purchased that is like my sophomore year of college, which would have been 8 years ago. And that may have been something that I picked up even earlier than that, like maybe my senior year of high school, which I just had my 10-year high school reunion, so 10 years ago. So that one's pretty old. Other than that though, I feel like most of the products in my collection are like under 5 years. A lot of them like 2 to 3 or like more recent. Number 9 is, how often do you shop for makeup? And this is a really good question. I will say that I look at the Trend Mood 1 Instagram page at least one time a day, usually more than one, just because I kind of want to like always stay up to date too on like the newest makeup releases. Number 2, I always, such a bad habit, and I've been like trying to get out of this, every night before bed I'll scroll through like the Sephora and Ulta website, and I would say like as far as going in store, I may be going to an Ulta once a month, maybe going to Sephora once a month. Last year when I wasn't on like a low buy, I would go into a Sephora and Ulta probably at least once a week, but now it's like once a month, if that, because going in store is like the most dangerous for me. I feel like going in store is definitely the most dangerous for me. I feel like I can never make it out of a makeup store without buying something. Online, I can usually scroll through, I'll like save things, put them in my cart, and usually like it's a very, very rare that I purchase stuff online unless it's like the Sephora VIB sale, or if I have 20% off at Ulta, or if there's like some sort of like bonus thing going on. It's very rare online that I'll purchase makeup at full price. But I'm always looking, if you will, always looking, never like actually like purchase shopping that much. I would say like, especially with my low buy, I maybe shop like, again, 1 to 2 times per month. The next question is, do you buy products just for the packaging? And I can definitely say I have done this in the past, and even so I've done this this year, specifically the Melt Smoke Sessions palette. I'm gonna grab that. Okay, so the Melt Smoke Sessions palette, when this released last year, I really, really, really wanted it. I've been really into green eyeshadows, which obviously this is a completely green eyeshadow palette. It's so stunning to look at. But aside from that, I just thought that the concept behind the palette was so brilliant, just like marketing genius to me. I've mentioned this in a couple of videos this year. I like don't even dabble in marijuana, etc. It's just not my thing, but I just thought that this was freaking genius. So I had, so even if I didn't like the colors inside, even if I didn't, and to be honest with you guys, I've talked about this in like, this is one of my least favorite purchases of the year because I just don't get use out of this palette, and I knew that when I purchased it. I knew I wasn't going to get a ton of use out of it because these aren't everyday wearable shades for me, but like I bought it because of the marketing, the packaging, just like the brilliance, in my opinion, regarding the release. So this is definitely an item that I can think of that I purchased due to the packaging. I know there have been other ones in the past. The Tarte Love Trust and Fairy Dust, I think has really cute packaging. I wouldn't have purchased that if I didn't like the shadows inside, but that's something that like is on there. And I know in the past there have been some MAC pieces that I've also picked up just because I really like the packaging. So I have been known to make purchases based on packaging. The Bobbi Brown Kaleidoscope palette that she's going to be releasing for holiday, that's when I feel like I could see myself picking up just because of the packaging. So yes, sometimes I can be one of those girls that just buys stuff because the packaging to me is brilliant. So I've definitely been guilty of that. Number 11 is, do you set an alarm for new releases? And the answer to this is no, except for 2 times in my life. One was not for a makeup release. It was for the Nikki, I'm gonna butcher her last name, but Nikki Blacketer Gymshark collaboration. And you guys, I literally had the stuff in my cart that I wanted to buy 3 minutes after the release of, or like the launch, and I didn't get any of the items that I wanted. I was livid. And now Whitney Simmons is collaborating with Gymshark, I saw, and I texted my sister immediately when I saw it, and I was like, how quickly do you think that this one's gonna sell out? Because Gymshark could get their stuff together a little bit better when it comes to like their collabs and their how much product they release. Not makeup related. So in terms of makeup, so this story just like makes me laugh. I never get sick, you guys. I mean, yes, I'll get a cold like I have now, but like never get sick. Even when I have a cold, like I'm out like doing stuff, like my husband like gets annoyed with me because he's like, can you ever just like sit down and relax, and do you ever get sick? But 2 years ago, it was when MAC re-released Tantastic. I felt so sick the night before. I set an alarm because I knew that the Tantastic bronzer was going on sale, or was going to be released next day at Sephora, and it was during a Sephora VIB sale, so I was gonna get 20% off. I had been puking all night. I was so sick, but when my alarm went off that morning, I literally still felt so incredibly ill. But I have never jumped onto the Sephora website so quickly to order a product. Like, I remember my heart was racing because I was worried I wasn't gonna get this stupid bronzer. Like, it's pathetic now to think about, like, the fact that, first of all, it's permanent to the line now, but to think that like my heart was racing because I was worried I wasn't going to get a bronzer. Like, my life would have been affected by not having this one bronzer. So pathetic, but that is a true story. Number 12 is, do you have the Ulta Sephora app on your phone? Of course I do. I shop it every single night. Number 13 is, do you have so much makeup that you forget what you have and buy it again? I do not think that this has ever happened to me. I feel like I have a really good grasp on like the makeup that I do have in my collection. Yeah, I don't think I've ever like accidentally like repurchased something that I already have. And then number 14 is, does your makeup make you happy? And 100% yes, it does. I was thinking about this the other day, and truly, like, I don't really know where I'd be if I didn't find makeup and didn't find YouTube, because it is such a fun hobby for me, and I'm the type of person that always has to be like doing something, working towards something, just like always has to have something going on. I feel like I like live for chaos, kind of.
Mom?
Oh, good morning.
I thought it was my birthday.
It is your birthday party today.
Where are my balloons?
Okay, the birthday girl is joining me with bedhead. Like I was saying, you guys, I always like, I feel like I live for chaos in my life. I like to always just feel like I have too much going on almost. So anyway, I'm really glad that I found makeup. I'm really glad that I found YouTube. I love the community that I've built. I love that I see the same people commenting, and like, even though I'm really bad at replying to my comments, I can like comment back, and like I can be having a bad day and then I'll jump onto my YouTube comments, and I just always feel like uplifted, feel super positive. And it's almost like I have, not a lot of my friends in my real life like are super into makeup, so it's fun to have people to like sit and chat with about makeup. So does my makeup make me happy? Absolutely. Even if I'm having a bad day, I can just sit down, get creative, decide to do like a blue eye, see how that looks. So yeah, I absolutely 100% love my makeup. Do sometimes I look at my makeup and get a little bit overwhelmed by how much I have? 100%. Sometimes I feel like a little bit guilty about purchases that I've made that I probably didn't need to, but still, my makeup makes me very happy. So, okay, so those are the 14 questions for the makeup addiction tag. If anyone else wants to do this tag, I would love to watch anyone else who does this. So I tag literally anyone else who wants to do this. Would love to hear your guys' answers. Thank you so much for sticking around to watch this video. I know it was a long one with a lot of stories attached, but that's fun for me too. So I hope you guys enjoyed, and I will catch you in my next video. Also, Skol Vikings today. Really fingers crossed, hoping that we beat the Packers. Bye, you guys.
Bye.